Hi, I'm Rebecca Wilson, a medical intuitive, spiritual empowerment coach, and healer. One of the questions I get asked the most is, what is a medical intuitive? So I just want to talk a little bit about that today, go into what is a medical intuitive, how I work, and how it can actually really help you to completely transform your life. So, medical intuitive is someone who, together with their guides and their intuition, is able to pick up a dissonance of energy within the body, stagnated energy, unprocessed emotions. We are more than our physical body. We are body, mind, and soul. We have a chakra system, we have our aura, we have the meridians. Perhaps if you're not familiar with energy work, you are familiar with the way acupuncture works, and the meridians are where the energy flows through the body. If we experience a trauma, if we are eating the wrong foods, if we are in the wrong relationship, the energy is actually not going to flow through our body the way that it should. Healing simply means bringing the body back into balance. When a client calls me from America or Australia, it doesn't matter where it is, energy doesn't know time or space, I will get them to say their name and their birth date. And as they're saying that, I will start to connect to their energy and I will start to pick up sensations in my body. So it might be a pressure in the knee, it might be a pain in the back. Whatever it is, I will kind of feel it in my body. I will also start to see images. The way that we perceive energy, or the way that every medical intuitive works, will be a little bit different. This is just how it works for me personally. Sometimes it's just like this knowing. So when the impressions come through, I will tell the person what I'm seeing, and ask them, does that make sense to them? And 9 times out of 10, or 9.999 times out of 10, they will say, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm experiencing in my life right now. And the reason that particular impression comes up is because that's the most prominent thing that needs to be dealt with. When I connect with somebody's energy, I am also scanning down their physical body, and so I might see like a red flashing coming from the intestines. I might even see, if I'm looking in their Anya chakra, that there's just a bear sleeping, which is very symbolic that they're not using their intuition. And if you're not using your intuition, your body is just not going to be in balance. So this is what I do. I pick up any blockages, or any different stagnations that are going on in the energy. Anytime we have a physical ailment like cancer, if you've had a heart attack, if you have endometriosis, whatever symptom it is a manifestation of something emotional. It has to start somewhere. And I'm about finding, what is this somewhere? What is the root cause, the absolute starting point for my clients' problems? It could be a childhood trauma. Quite often it's a childhood trauma. If we experience something in our childhood that we never processed, that we never understood, our body is very, very similar to a basement. If you have guests coming over and you just clear everything out of your house and go and put it in the basement, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay there until you've dealt with it. And this is very, very similar to our physical bodies. Our physical bodies are amazing at storing emotions. They'll file them away in different areas in the body. And then what happens over time is mess attracts mess. So this particular situation that you haven't dealt with will start to be like a cloud, and it will start to expand and expand and expand until it rains. And the raining is the physical ailments. A lot of my clients ask me, is it that simple? Is it as simple as taking deeper breaths? Is it as simple as cutting meat out of my diet? Is it as simple as changing my job? And the answer is, in theory, it sounds simple. The difficult part is doing it. Very much like meditation. How easy does it sound to do meditation? You just have to sit there and concentrate on your breath. But when you're actually doing it, or you're learning to do it for the first time, I know from my personal experience, I was a little bit shocked about how difficult it was. So my absolute goal of any session that I have with my clients is to find the root cause of their problems and to find the highest and best healing method in order to resolve those problems. We have 8 different areas where our challenges, where our stuck emotions can begin. So it can have to do with the ancestors or your ancestors. We don't just inherit their eye color, we actually inherit their limiting beliefs, their negative emotions, and anything they haven't unprocessed. In this case, time doesn't heal. Time is like an avalanche, and the problem will get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's dealt with. So Western medicine is so amazing. They're catching up to realizing that stress causes physical ailments in our body, but we have so many more emotions. We have shame, we have jealousy, we have resentment, we have hate, we have shock. The list is endless, and a negative emotion moves very differently through the body than a positive emotion. Think about when you feel inspired. You don't really need to sleep. You don't need that much food to eat. You're kind of in your flow. It's just a whole different feeling because energy is moving through your body differently. If you are depressed, and often depression is you're not on your path, and your soul is here, and your physical body and your logic's here, and they're so far apart that the body just kind of collapses down. It's like, stop, we're so going in the wrong direction. So just to give you an idea, so we've got ancestors, we've got past life trauma, we have current life trauma. I actually had a client who had suffered from stomach problems for 50 years, and he had been to every doctor, every specialist, and nobody could tell him what it was. In fact, when I connected with his energy, I saw him being tortured in a past life. Pretty much was a scene from Braveheart. So he was having his intestines pulled out of his stomach, and I'm seeing this like Netflix. I don't actually need Netflix. I don't even know why I subscribe every month. But my job is Netflix. So when I told him this, he, very left brain, investment banker, was like, I hate the movie Braveheart. Every time I watch that, I literally have to leave the room in this scene. This is crazy that you're telling me this. And I said, okay, I know that you don't believe in past lives. I didn't either when I began. But the way that you're reacting really, really shows me that this has hit something with you. And if you don't believe it consciously, if it's a little bit too far-fetched for your mind, you'll feel it in every soul of your body. So we went in and we healed that past life, because anytime you don't heal it, it's actually replaying in your unconscious every single day. And so we went in and we did a soul retrieval, because when you experience something like that, the soul fragments. And doing this soul retrieval really helped him to ease his stomach problems. So this is just where it's so interesting. This is not going to show up on an MRI scan. This is not going to show up in a blood test. It's not going to show up in a urine test. And this is why there's just so much more. This is so much more. So if you're somebody who has been banging your head against the wall thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't anybody tell me what's wrong with me? This is why. And we have relationships, we have the way what we eat, when we eat, the job, if you're working in the wrong job, if you're supposed to be an artist and you're working as a school teacher, like my friend who painted me this beautiful painting, your body's going to react to that. It's just not going to feel good. It's going to throw in all these detours to get you back to where you're supposed to be. What have I left out? We have non-physical attachments. It's something that's not discussed very often. This is this feeling like I just don't feel good and I don't know why. I'm having negative thoughts. They're not mine. This feeling that somebody's looking over your shoulder and you can't explain it. There's just so much more than what we can see. And this is another part of my job, is to separate, if anybody has a negative attachment, to separate the negative attachment and help them to clear up their energy field and to show them how to protect themselves more so it doesn't kind of happen again. Your environment. If you are living on a ley line, if somebody has been murdered in your house, this is going to affect your energy. It's all energy. We're energy, frequency, and vibration. That's it. That's all there is to it. So these are all the things that can come up in a session with me. I never know where we're going to go. I never know what's going to happen. So I've got this bit of hair just like doing something really weird here. I never know where we're going to go. I never know where we're going to land. But I always know that after my clients had, so obviously I work with a lot of healers. They know the drill. And then I work with a lot of people like my investment banker client who's not familiar with the work, and they all said the same thing. I feel so much better. I don't know what you did. I don't even know how you did it, but I feel better. And that's really the main aim of a medical intuitive. That is to not only to make you feel better, but also to help you really understand who you are, what you are, why you've taken on these challenges, why you have a particular situation that's like a pattern and it's repeating in your life. These are all the things that come up, and I guess it's to make you whole, to make you complete, to see that life is happening for you and not happening against you, to help you live life, not just exist. I existed for so long. I struggled for so long. And this is why I do the work that I do, because I want to help people the way that could have helped me when I was in these situations. I can't even begin to tell you the number of toxic relationships I was in. I didn't even know what intuition was till I got to my 30s. All these things that made my life so much easier. I suffered with stomach problems for 20 years. No doctor could tell me what it was, no physician, no nutritionist, and it didn't matter how much I changed my diet. It didn't matter how much mental work I did. The stomach problems never went away. And it wasn't until I realized that I was suppressing my emotions that I was able to start processing them and to release them. And since then, I never get bloated stomachs. I can eat whatever I want, and it's just made such a difference in my life. And this is why I'm so passionate about this work. I'm so passionate about helping people realign with their highest and happiest self, their most authentic self. And I know reaching that stage can be very uncomfortable. You go through some funny phases. There are phases where you think nobody understands me. This is not true. I totally get you, and it kind of can be a bit difficult because when you start to grow and you start to evolve and you start to remember who you are, you expect the family and friends around you who have always been there to understand that as well. And if they're not on that level of consciousness, it's not going to happen. So I'm here cheering you on every single part of the way. So that's what a medical intuitive is. That's how I work. I'm going to be doing online sessions throughout the whole channel. So yeah, if you want to apply for one of those, I would love to have you on. Sending so much love and to your body, mind, and soul. Take care until next time.